Hello everyone, let's begin part 5. In this part, I will explain the postfix authentication with the SASL and chapter 13, postfix authentication with TLS. First one, chapter 11, the postfix authentication, the using SASL. First one, number 1. Why to use SASL authentication? Why we need to use SASL authentication? Normally, postfix support authentication using this one, my network parameters. So if the user belong to this my network parameters, anytime they can access to send or relay mail through this postfix. But let's imagine the mobile users wish to use the mail server away from this base. So in this case, these mobile users cannot access the mail server because they doesn't belong to this my network. So this SASL normally support the mobile users who does not belong to the my network parameters. And need the SASL, need the mechanism to authenticate as a trusted users who are the trusted users to use this mail server. So they can able to send the mail through this postfix mail server. SASL means the simple authentication and the security layers. Normally, SASL provide the mechanism of the authenticating users using username and password. And the most well-known implementation SASL is a cyrus-sasl library. So if we want to support, or if we want to the SASL, then you have to install this package first. Number 2, SASL layers. Normally the SASL consists of 3 layers: authentication interface, and the mechanism and method. First, the authentication interface, it means client and the server normally exchange the data to process the authentication. Normally this one, the username and password. This communication normally takes place in the authentication interface. So the SASL leaves this one to their specific communication protocol, for example, like SMTP or IMAP or LDAP, like this. For example, if we use the SMTP, then we can use like this: telnet, the postfix mail server, and port number 25. This one is a SMTP port number. Now, number 2, mechanism. To configure the mechanism of the SASL, normally we can use this file, etc sasl2 smtp.com. So here we can configure. And normally the mechanism is, we call this one second layer of SASL. And in this mechanism, we can determine or define the verification, the strategy during the authentication. Normally to use the username and password. There are 3 kinds: anonymous, the plain text, and shared secret. Normally anonymous we don't use, so postfix does not offer this access. So in this part we will use this one, plain text and shared secret key. And the plain text requires the client to calculate the base 64, the encoded string of the username and password. It means using base 64 encoding the encoded string, normally username and password will be encoded. So we call this one plain and login. So if we want to use SASL with the plain text mechanism, we have to configure this one, plain and login. Number 3, shared secret. This one normally based on the assumption the client and the server both already share secret using challenge and response. So if we want to use this one, the mechanism must define this one, cram MD5 and digest MD5. In this video, I will use number 2, plain text. Number 3, method. If we want to configure the SASL method, we can use this file. It is config SASL. So here there are many kinds. the remote, the IMAP, LDAP, covers, the password and shadow, PAM, SASL DB, SQL, like this. So in this video, I will use this one, PAM or shadow. If you want to change this one, we can use this file. Okay, to verify the password, I already told you SASL normally use the password and the username to verify their authentication. So to verify the password, there are three kinds. First one, SASL authentication daemon, auth PROP property, and auth daemon. So normally auth daemon normally can be used to support the courier's authent daemon password. So in this video, I will not use this one. So normally we use two kinds, SASL daemon or auth property like this. So the SASL daemon is a standalone daemon, and this one normally handle only plain text mechanism. And if we want to use the MD5, then we have to use this one, auth property like this. So this one represents the library used by the server offering authentication. Normally this one support or handle plain text and shared secret together. So here there is a chart to explain this one. So SASL D normally support plain login but does not support MD5 because this one normally use the shared key between client and server. And auth property support all plain login and client MD5 and digest MD5 as well to use the shared secret key. And number 25 here. So first, if we want to configure mechanism and password service, at first we have to use this file, etc SASL do smtp dcom. So default is this one, the SASL D, and mechanism will be plain and login. And if you want to change, then you can use this one, auth property. In this case, this one normally supports shared secret key using the two such as like a CRAM MD5, digest MD5 as well. In this video, only I will use this one. And the number 2.6, SASL D in etc config /SASL auth. If you want to change the here we can change the mechanism. For example, the default is a PAM, but if you want to change it to shadow, then you can change. Or we can use this kind of command, SASL auth D. The mechanism will be shadow like this. In this case, you have to shut down the SASL daemon first. Or if you want to use the IMAP, remote IMAP, then like this. The IMAP, and you have to configure exact the IMAP server name. Okay, number 3, to find what SASL implementation are compiled into Postfix. Then, if you use the postconf A and A, then we can see the SASL support in SMTP server. Number 4, if we want to configure SASL authentication in the Postfix, we have to use this file, main.cf. So here we have to configure like this, SASL authentication, the broken SASL authentication client. Yes, normally this one can be used for normally the Windows, the Outlook Express or Outlook like this as MUA. And the SASL type will be the Dovecot, and the path and the option no anonymous. So anonymous users cannot use this one. And after that, the recipient restrictions here, permit my network, SASL authentications, and the unauthorized destination will be rejected like this. And the Dovecot, if we want to configure on the Dovecot for the SASL, then normally use this file 10master.conf. So here only at first time we configured this one. So here just activate this line, postfix SMTP auth. So here this one private auth and mode number 10. Okay, and after that the postfix start and Dovecot start. Testing, there are two kinds. testing SASL. So at first we use this file, SASL2 the sample server and SASL2 sample client. So first open the port number of 8000 using this file, and after that we can access this port using this one mechanism plain login. And then we can maybe this one will get the authentication ID, authorization ID, and password. In my case, I will use TLS. So if we want this kind of user, at first we have to use this command SASL password 2, then we can create this kind of user. Or if you want to change the mechanism, so here I already told you the default is PAM, but we can change like this. And after that, if you check the process of the SASL, then you can see the mechanism is the shadow. And after that, the test authentication using this command and the username and password, then you can test. Number A is testing using only cyrus-sasl, but the B is testing SMTP auth. So here, I already told you SASL normally use the base 64 encoding method for the username and password. So here, if in my case username the Linux and the password Linux 1234 using the PAR, then this one will show you this kind of the encoding. So if we want to test SMTP first, the access like this telnet server, the port number 25, and of that echo lost. So here auth plain this the base 64 encoding line. So here, then this line Linux and Linux is 1234 is valid. Then we can see this kind of the message authentication successful like this. And of that, if we want to check this first pix to support the SASL, then we can check the mail. And after that, using try to use Wireshark. Okay, then first let's go to here. In my case, I already here connected to the server, and here is a client. So let's check the client first, the server first. Okay, let's check the first. etc. Okay, first let's check the package. Okay, in my case, I can find this kind of SASL the package. Okay, and after that, etc. SASL to smtpd.com. So here the password mechanism is a SASL D, and the mechanism listed here plain login like this. Okay, and after that, one more thing, cat etc sysconfig SASL D. So here SASL will leave the socket directory here, and so here the mechanism mechanism shadow like this. So in my case, default mechanism now change to shadow. So let's check like this. Process SASL. So now here SASL D using the mechanism is a shadow like this. Okay, and one more thing, if we want to change SASL authentication, so now it's a shadow, but if I want to change to the PAM like this, but now already using the SASL the daemon using the shadow. So first service SASL the start first, and after that PAM. So now let's check SASL like this. So it's a default mechanism is a PAM. So now let's try to again, and after that process checking. Then now it's a default is a shadow. Okay, and after that, postconf a So now the postfix is already compiled to support Cyrus and Dovecot as well. Okay, this one also normally. So now Cyrus is support the postfix. Okay, and after that, let's go to the postfix. Okay, then main.conf. So here, let's check SASL. In my case, I already configured like this. So here, SASL enabled client yes, Dovecot, and non-anonymous, and recipient restriction like this. Okay, and after that, let's check the Dovecot, etc Dovecot, and the conf.d. So let's first check the master. So here, let's go to this line. The line number, the 75 service auth. So here, auth user database and the user, and here as well the private auth mode like this. Okay, then the SASL and the Dovecot is ready to use the postfix and the Dovecot service postfix restart. And after that, the service Dovecot restart. Okay, then let's try to test the SASL. First, let's check the SASL testing. First, SASL 2 sample server, the SRCMD, and the port number 8000. So now ready. So here, SASL as well, sample client, SR limit to CMD, and that port number same, and the mechanism will be plain. Okay, so here in my case I will use TLS and same password. So now successful authentication. And one more user, let's try to use Linux 1 2 3 4. Okay, now successful authentication. Or test SASL user. Okay, let's try to Kim password Kim 1 2 3 4. So now success. So now SASL testing, cyrus-sasl authentication is successful. Okay, then let's test the SMTP authentication. So first, telnet server 25 host, and after that the auth plane. Here I already use this one. So in my case, here. Okay, so here, in my case, username the Linux and the password Linux 1 2 3 4. Then this one will show the base 64 encoding line. Okay, copy, and after that the base. Okay, now authentication successful. Okay, so now the SASL is working well, and after that, let's test using the Wireshark first. Here in the server part, I started already this one. Okay, capture interface. Okay, start. And the client, so here will send the mail, and the title SASL test, and the username tland.com and etc password. Okay, then let's go back to the server part and the capture. So here Stop. And after that, let's check the SMTP authentication. SMTP from the client, for example, this one. Now hello client, and now here root from the client and the two. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, so now this one, if we use the Wireshark to the capture packet of the mail, then we can see all information. Okay, for example, this one, the sender, and this one is the sender information. This one, the receiver information, and here the email, the ID of the receivers. So in case of the using the SASL, we can see all the datas. So now here, I send the etc password file to the TLS in the server. So if we use the Wireshark, we can see all content like this. So even if the SASL support the authentication for the mobile use, but does not support encryption. So now I will show you how to set up the Postfix authentication using SASL TLS. Why we have to use the TLS authentication? Because I already showed you SMTP auth using the plaintext implemented by the SASL normally is not this string is just the encoded and not encrypted. So TLS normally support encrypt the transmission of the encoding data. So to use TLS support for the postfix, so at first we have to create TLS first. So at first go to this directory etc pki TLS cert. So here in this directory we have to create the key is a private key and the certificate as well. So here first I will create this one server key, the name, and after that open SSL RSA input the server key, output server key. So in this case we will remove the passpass for this the private key, and after that we will create the CSR request, and after using this one open SSL, then we can create here the certificate. So using this private key. So if we have these two key and the certificate, then we can use SSL. And let's go to the Postfix main configuration file to the configure to support the TLS. So here TLS key file, the private key here, in my case I will use this one, server key, and the certificate, this one, and SMTP SASL security options. So now we will not use SASL, so no anonymous and no plain text, and the security options and non-anonymous, and that TLS security level may. So before version, the previous version, we use this one, the SMTP TLS, use TLS yes, but now we will in CentOS 6 we will use this option, and the log file session, the cache directory like this, and this line SMTPD TLS auth only. In this case, normally this one will hide SASL authentication. But if you want to use SASL and the TLS together, then here SASL security option must be no, only anonymous, and SMTP TLS auth only or no must be changed, no, like this. And the testing on the SMTP, so telnet server 25. So here we can find this kind of string, start TLS, then this one SMTP support TLS. In the Dovecot, if the Dovecot try to or want to support TLS, then open this file master.com. So here just this one, this line comment, and only activate this kind of IMAP-S, for example, IMAP-S, port number, and SSL yes. And the POP3 as well is the same. And after that, open 10-SSL conf. So here we have to configure like this. SSL, yes. And certification, certificate, and the key file, we will use this one. And after that, cipher list like this. And Dovecot postfix restart. In the client, if the client want to use the mail service implemented by the SASL and TLS from the mail server. In this case, first one, Thunderbird. In case of Thunderbird, please check the server setting for each user. And here, port number, in my case, 993 for the IMAP-S, and the script setting, SASL TLS, and password, normal password. And the outgoing server, start TLS, and no authentication. In case of the Microsoft Outlook, so here, tools change the more setting and advanced. Here, in my case, I will use IMAP, port number same, and the SSL encryption, and the SMTP25 encryption will be TLS like this. So, and after that, let's testing using Wireshark and Dovecot to send and receive email. Okay, then the first, let's go back to the here. Okay, here in the server, first let's create the certificate etc pki, and here TLS, and here, okay. So in my case, I already created this one, server key and the server certificate and the request as well. So here, if we want to create, just make like this. For example, tland key like this. Then you can use. So in here, we need the password. In my case, T. So using this one, now you can create the other certificate and request as well. So now I already create this one, so I will use this one, server, the key, private key, and server certificate as well. Okay, then let's go the postfix. So here let's open main. So now I already copy the configure for the SSL TLS authentication. So now here I will delete. And for the SASL, here I will use first only the SASL like this. So the no anonymous and no plain text. Then in this case, normally I can use only TLS, not SASL. Okay, and after that, let's go to let's test here. Service postfix restart. And after that, telnet server the port number 25. So now we can see here, start TLS. So now this one, the postfix support the TLS. Okay, and after that, etc Dovecot. Okay, let's configure the Dovecot. The first, the conf that. Okay, here 10 master first. In the master file, we have to configure some lines. Okay, let's configure first the IMAP first here. So IMAP, the line number 21, the listener IMAP S, so port 993 and SSL yes, and this one. And the POP3 as well, POP3 same. So this one is support POP3 and IMAP S, and after that, line number the 88, the postfix SMTP us. So here, and after that, we will this one the comment. Okay, so now I'm ready or the complete to configure the master. And after that, SSL come first. Line number 6, SSL, at first default is no, but I will change yes. And after that, line number 12, here, the certificate, this one, and the key, the private key here. And after that, line number 41, here, cipher list, like this. Okay, then I'm ready to use Dovecot as well. So service Dovecot restart. Okay, then let's check the process here, Dovecot. So now Dovecot is a process, and of that, let's check the port number. Grab first 993 IMAP-S and the 995 POP3S. So now IMAP-S and POP3 is supporting the service for the users. Okay. Then now I'm ready to use the TLS authentication in the Postfix and Dovecot. So now let's test again. Postfix restart. And Dovecot as well. Okay, now now I'm staying in the client. So here let's check the Thunderbird. Here, this is the Thunderbird. To the support the Thunderbird, the TLS. So first in Thunderbird, please, in my case, Linux user. Okay, here, view setting this account. And after that, first, the server setting. In the server setting, port number 993 for the IMAP-S. And the connection, the security is a SASL TLS. And the authentication is a normal password. Okay. And the outgoing server, so here, click the edit. And after that, in my case, SMTP port number 25 and the server name like this. And connection security, the start TLS, and authentication, no authentication. Okay. Okay, then. So let's try to send the email. Okay, here. First, in the server part, we'll check. Okay, this one is the server part username is a TLAN. Let's send email. In my case, Linux and the CC John. The TLS testing. Okay, then send. Okay, let's go back to the Linux user. Okay, here received the TLS testing, and the Windows as well received the Outlook, Microsoft Outlook. So as well, this one received from the TLAN. So this one TLAN and this one is Linux and the TLAN. Okay, so in the Microsoft Outlook, if you want to use the TLS configuration, so here click the file and the account setting. So in my case, using john@char.com. So here click change. And after that, so here more settings, and in more settings, advanced. So here, in my case, IMAP-S port number 993, and the encryption connection is SSL, and the outgoing server SMTP port number 25 in my case, and the encryption connection is a TLS, and in the outgoing server, just uncheck here. Okay. Then next. So here, if I click, then this one will the test, so the access to the IMF server and email as well. Okay, finish. Then now this one, the Microsoft Outlook also support the TLS authentication. Again, so okay, then let's try to use admin user. Okay, this one try to send the email, right? So here tland.com and the other user jong.com. Okay, and TLS testing 2, TLS testing 2. Okay, send. Okay, then let's go back to the client and the server here. Okay, now send and receive. So now client, this tland received from the admin is a contents TLS testing 2 like this, and this one also received like this, and the Linux the Windows, the Microsoft Outlook, the username is John. So now user sender is admin, and here the contents is TLS testing 2. So TLS as well. So first the TLS testing. So now the Microsoft Outlook and the Thunderbird is working well to support TLS. So now I already showed you how to set up the client for the Thunderbird and the Outlook Express. If you want to configure for the client, especially in the Evolution, in my case, in the server part, I'm using the Evolution. So here, click Edit, the Preference. So here, for example, tland, Edit. So here, let's configure for this one, receiving email. So here, in my case, security TLS encryption and the password, and sending email. Okay, here, in my case, server name ms1, ms1.chal.com, and server require authentication, and the security TLS encryption, authentication plain, and username like this. Then Evolution as well support the TLS connection, TLS authentication. Okay, the last testing using the Wireshark. Okay, here I already start our Wireshark. So here capture interface. So here the start and continue, and the client part, the Linux user will send the email. Okay, here username tland and the John. Okay, and ITC as well. Okay, so here TLS authentication testing. Okay, TLS authentication testing like this. Okay, send. Okay, now let's go back to client file. First one here, here this one is a tland. Let's check. Okay, this one received this one TLS authentication testing and the ITC as well. And let's go check the Windows. Okay, Windows as well. Now the user sender is a Linux, so TLS authentication testing. Okay, the last testing here in the server part. Let's stop the capture. Okay, and after that, let's check the email using the Postfix. So now this one, you can see, for example, like okay, here the TLS like this. So first, before the sending and receiving the data, okay, handshake first. So first one, here, server, we can see here server hello and the certificate, and they change the key exchange. And if the client as well, if first the server to send the certificate and the client as well key exchange, then encrypted handshake messages. Then let's check the application using the TLS. So for example, this one. Okay. So now they are using the secure socket layer and TLS. And so now application data is encrypted. So even if we try to capture the packet using the Wireshark for the first pick to support TLS, then all data now is encrypted, so we cannot see. And one more thing, server part. Okay, let's click this one. Server now. Here, the server using the TLS, and now the server try to use the handshake the protocol to change the key to the with client. So in this part, we can see the TLS authentication the process, and the client part. Okay, here. Client as well. Now they are using handshake the protocol to exchange the key with the server part. So now if we use the TLS, we cannot see, we cannot slip it, the packet from the server and client using the TLS on the first fix. Okay, so far I will show you how to use the SASL for the authentication and the TLS and the client configuration such as Thunderbird and Microsoft Outlook and the Evolution as well. And of that, I already show you testing the TLS on using the Dovecot and Wireshark. Thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next video.